Good evening. My name is Lindsay Handley Witchell, and I am founder and scoutmaster for Girls Troop 827 here in East Mesa. I'm doing my presentation tonight, my speech presentation tonight, on girls in scouting. For years, sisters have been participating in scouting with their brothers, side by side, learning the same lessons and going on the same scouting family adventures. Riflery, archery, fishing, first aid, outdoor wilderness codes, community service, so much participation. Every several months, families will join the troops for their Court of Honors, where the scouts are awarded with all their hard work and efforts from the year. And sisters, like myself, just sat there saying, I did that. I remember growing up with my brother in scouts. I remember slaying the BB gun range and being excited when we did our campfire skits. Most of my fondest memories are being at the camp with my brother and other families, enjoying the events that were planned by the leadership. I remember being excited about being there. The stars, the dirt, the smell of fresh pine, wanting to be a part of it. And then being reminded that I can't. Why? Because BSA, Boy Scouts of America, is for boys. Now, I do not think that girls should have every aspect of every program. I do believe that boys and girls should have their own space to grow and learn. But how do you tell a kid that a wilderness survival program is not meant for their gender? How do you tell a girl who wants outdoor adventure that she belongs in Girl Scouts, when the troops that are in her area do not choose the outdoor adventures for their troops programs? Me growing up, my family focused on music. I was not really open about what I wanted because I always was really afraid to tell my parents about how exciting scouting was for me and how it felt to go camping and shooting and watching the leaders run Dutch oven cooking competitions. But as I got older, my brother was able to progress and I was left at home. I didn't want to sell cookies. I wanted to fly the jets. Gatekeeping programs that teach valuable lessons is wrong. The mentality girls belong in Girl Scouts and boys belong in Boy Scouts is a thought process that still currently plagues my community as well as others. Why? Because the program has evolved and not a lot of girls are camping anymore, at least in my area. Girl Scouts get to choose their merit badge path, and Boy Scouts of America program makes all scouts follow the same path to Eagle, with varying merit badges that they can choose from to supplement others. The program is the same, and the goal itself is Eagle. It is no secret that the Eagle rank is a coveted rank that is looked at by jobs, school, military, and holds weight in our society currently. And even though I do not have a lot of knowledge of the Girl Scouts of America program, I had not personally heard about the Gold Award until I started my adult journey in BSA. However, I know that most famous people I grew up with learning about, such as Neil Armstrong and Steven Spielberg, were Eagle Scouts. I am now a Scoutmaster, and I just learned how to start my own fire without matches 6 months ago for the very first time. I just learned how to build a proper 10 Essentials kit. I had no idea that you could use a whistle to find somebody, and how to properly dress wounds. If I was lost in the woods prior to me to learning all of these things, I would have been a goner and probably eaten by a bear. Merit badge programs are educational and they help with self-esteem. Kids get to learn about how far they can push themselves, and when they are about to break, they find out they can push farther and survive. This past summer, I took 7 girls on a 3-mile hike that turned out to be almost 6. And even with all the unknown on how far we were actually walking and how hard it was and how much they complained, it was their most memorable event. They couldn't believe they did it. They pushed themselves and they conquered. I am Scoutmaster for a girls' troop. The girls I work with can grow in their own space, just as our brother troop does in 484. We face a lot of challenges, and this year we are fundraising to help costs for parents. We sell popcorn at Fry's, Bass Pro, Texas Roadhouse, and it would be one thing if we just received basic no's. We receive a lot of hate and fingers and our faces from people that do not care to understand. And I can tell you that unless you go out and find these girls that have the same grit as mine, they will not surface. They won't. Why? Because parents don't usually look for programs like this for their daughters like they do for their sons. It took me 8 months to start up my troop, and it took my friend who started up his boy troop a little over a week. I had so much social media backlash and backlash from other scoutmasters at other troops. One, whom in the beginning I was partnering with for their charter, who then I later found out was trying to sabotage me by not letting me recruit anywhere. The city of Apache Junction originally agreed to let me send out my flyers to businesses, but then later came back and told me to go climb a tree. This program needs to be in schools and available to everyone. The schools won't let us find these special girls. They won't let us in and even talk to families. So we need to look for them in roundabout ways. I have some very special girls in my troop. One who is completely into bugs. Not my thing, not by a long shot, but she has zero fear of beetles the size of my face. I have another that is motivated by community service with animals, and so my leadership and I are going to help her create adventures that help benefit local shelters. And these two were found by word of mouth and by people complaining that I was hurting the community by creating this program. We need to make it easier for these girls to be found. Multi-generational centers, libraries, news stories, troop visits, all of these positive routes to combat the skepticism I deal with on a weekly basis. The Chief Scout Executive, Michael Serbo, stated 2 years before the allowance of girls in Scouts BSA that the values of scouting, trustworthy, loyal, helpful, brave, and reverent, for example, are important for both young men and women, and we strive to bring what our organization does best, and that's developing character and leadership for young people, as to many families and youth as possible, as we help shape the next generation of leaders. As far as experiencing changes in the program, even Liam Richter, a scout of 9 years and a high school back east, said it seems very similar, but it was not like there was any major change. Yes, there are girls in some of the activities now, but it has not affected the activities itself. For me, I get a chance to bless my daughter with the knowledge that I am teaching. Now that BSA has changed its name to Scouting America, if she chooses, she as well as other girls will have the ability to become heroes with the same Eagle stamp and experience that Neil Armstrong had in his time in BSA. These girls will have the ability to have the highest rank on their job and college admissions applications, and it will also provide our world with more positive role models. The scouting program is well-rounded, with a little bit of everything and a whole lot of awesome, positive experiences for them as well as their families. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Those of us in scouting make a personal agreement to live by these laws every single day. And as we remind ourselves and the kids that we teach, as well as the community around us, do your best. Thank you.